Hi all, today we are going to discuss A Home Burial by Robert Frost. Robert Frost was born on March 26, 1874. He was born in San Francisco, California. He belonged to New England. Frost's personal life was miserable with misfortunes and deaths. Father died of TB in 1885. When his father died, he was left penniless. He had no money. In his younger age itself, he lost his father at the age of 11. At the age of 16, he lost his mother too. His mother died of cancer. It was a streak of mental illness ran throughout his family, and many of them, including himself, suffered depression. One of his sons committed suicide. And his daughter had a complete nervous breakdown. And of his 6 children, only 2 have survived. Farming was his first interest. He had great interest in farming, so it was called farming was his first love as a profession. But he was a failure in farming, so he sold his farms and took to teaching and writing, both of which proved very successful. He frequently employed a rural life of New England in his poems, and he depicted or picturized this rural life of New England through very familiar languages and situations. Most of his poems explore the fundamental questions of human existence. Most of his poems try to find out answers for the fundamental questions of human existence. They can be seen folk life of New England, that is a folksy New England persona and character in his works. And in these works, one can see human reactions to nature's process. He had great volumes of poetry like Boyceville, north of Boston, Mountain Interval, New Hampshire, West Running Brooks, Further Range, and others. Road Not Taken is one celebrated one, and just like Melting Wall, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, Birches, After Apple Picking. These were his great works, just like Road Not Taken, Melting Wall, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, Birches, and After Apple Picking. In his works, we can see colloquial rhythm and simplicity of images. They are related to the rusticity, that is rustic life or village life, and honesty of Sidhe or Plough. Frost considered himself as a synecdochist. What is synecdoche? To mention a part to imply full, or to mention full to imply part, just like we use crown to denote king. He says even I prefer the synecdoche in poetry, in which, see, this is a figure of speech. Synecdoche is a figure of speech in which we use a part for the whole or all for the part. He is also a philosopher, and his poems can be said as begin in delight and end in wisdom. His poems begin in delight and end in wisdom. We can see in his poems the boy who climbs birch tree and sings and bends, the farmer who insists on mending the wall between the neighbors, one who insists on mending the wall between neighbors, the traveler who is confused by the two roads which to be taken and which should not, and the tired apple picker who always dreams of unplucked apples, and the duty-conscious explorer who refuses to be drawn in the lovely dark forest in stopping by woods on a snowy evening. These all picturizes first objectives of poetry and even his philosophy. Okay, and he strongly reacted about verse forms. Free verse is like playing tennis without a net. According to him, free verse is like playing tennis without a net. And his poem, The Gift Outright, see, his poem, The Gift Outright, was asked to recite at John F. Kennedy's presidential inauguration. His poem, The Gift Outright, was asked to be recited at John F. Kennedy's presidential inauguration. And he was most honored and appreciated among 20th century American poets. And he had even received 4 Pulitzer Prizes and more than 40 honorary degrees from Oxford and Cambridge and the US Congressional Medal. He died 1963. See, his epitaph quotes the last line from his poem itself, the lesson for today. I had a lover's quarrel with the world. See, his epitaph quotes the last line from his poem, the lesson for today, which was the last line, I had a lover's quarrel with the world.